Hello everyone. Sorry for the rescheduling. I was just exhausted yesterday. I came home and I took a nap at like 2:30 and then got up at like 5:30 and went back to bed at 8:30. So I was exhausted. And I'm really glad that I did that because I feel so much better today. So I'm just gonna wait for a few minutes to see if anybody pops on. I know it's early, and especially for our Pacific time zone friends, it's like 6 a.m. over there right now. So just gonna wait a few minutes, see who can get on with me. Hope some people can. It's never fun to do a training when there's nobody on. So I'm sitting on the floor in my boutique room. It's a disaster behind me. It always happens when I start packing stuff up to go for events. This is what I got from one of my students yesterday. It says Meowie Christmas, and I told my coworkers that it's authentic because there's this little chip in it. It's an authentic gift because the kiddo I got it from, he's a busybody. All right, say hi. Hi, Jackie. I don't know if I can see comments, so can you say hi real fast? Yay! Okay, great. I can see comments. Facebook and I have been going round and round and round about the comments. Anyway, I was just talking about how this was one of my Christmas presents from one of my students. It says Meowie Christmas, and it has this little chip in it because I don't know how it happened, but I consider it an authentic gift from this kiddo because that's exactly what would happen. So, it's pretty cool. It's this glass. It's a glass cup, but it has a lid. So that's pretty cool. I'm just going to wait like another few minutes to see if anybody else can get on. Jackie, and then I'll go ahead and get started. But I'm so glad you're here, so I'm not talking to myself. Texas. I'm Central Texas. But I don't know if I have an accent or anything because my parents are from the Midwest, and my dad grew up in Wisconsin. That's where he met my mom, so I don't know if I have an accent or not. Sometimes the Southern comes out. It's real hick. It's really bad, but not always. Goodness. All right. Well, let me see what time it is. Jackie, the y'all comes out a lot. In fact, a lot of times when I start my lives, I go, hey y'all, and then I totally forget that I just was like that. So, yeah, it's bad. But authentic, so. Alright, well, it is 8:09, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started, Jackie, and then if some other people get on, I might circle back around. But thanks for getting on with me so early in the morning. So, Hostess coaching is something that I have struggled with for a really long time. It's not something that comes naturally to me because I have always felt like it should just be something that they already know how to do, but it's not. And so I've done, I did Jamberry for a year. I sold Jamberry for a year. I sold LuLaRoe for 8 months, and now I've been with Amelia James for 7 months. I've only done a few parties with Amelia James just because life has gotten in the way, but that's something that I plan on starting again come January. So hostess coaching is going to be super important. Oh, yep, lots of LuLaRoe girls. Lots of LuLaRoe girls coming over to AJ because we saw the light. But, so hostess coaching, so you probably already know, Jackie, hostess coaching can either make or break your party. The more involved your hostess is, the more likely that you'll have sales. So, and I've personally experienced this with, hi Amber, how are you? Thanks for popping on. I see somebody else is on too. Hi Jeanette. Yay, okay, so people are getting here. Okay, yay. So I was just talking about how hostess coaching can either make or break you, and it's not something that has come naturally to me. In fact, I've really struggled with it. I've been in direct sales for going on 3 years, so it's something I've had to work at and kind of figure out how to make it my own. So I was just going to say, you know, my sister is the worst hostess ever, and I refuse to ask her to do parties. The only time she ever does a party is when she asks me, and I won't tell her no because she's family, but she does nothing that I ask her to do, and her parties always aren't very good. Whereas my mom, I would let my mom host all day, every day, because she is like the best hostess you could ask for. She does the hostess portion of it naturally, which is really, really cool. But then she'll do everything that I do ask her to do. So the very first thing that you want to do is send your hostess some information. A thank you for hosting, you know, here's your hostess, what your hostess rewards will be, and some of the things that you're going to want her to do. There's a multitude of different ways that you can do it. You can send her a Word document in an email. You could send her actual snail mail. I recently came across something called Issue. Jackie, I'm talking about online and in person today. The hostess coaching can look very similar depending on how you set up and run the events, and then also the invitations for the in-person. So I'm going to start with online. I probably should have said that. I'm talking about online right now, and then I'll jump into the in-person. So for your online party, you want to send, you know, a thank you and some information. So I was saying you can do a Word document, you can do snail mail, or I came across something called Issue. It's ISSUU, and it's like creating an online magazine. One of the top sellers and leaders in 31 uses it, and I'll post one of hers. I'll post a link to it later. I haven't used it yet, but I think that's how I'm going to start doing my hostess coaching, that and videos. So you're going to send her this letter thanking her. Make sure you include, hi Kristen, make sure you include what the hostess rewards are so she knows what she's working for. You want to make sure that you have at least 3 contacts with her prior to the party. That shows that you're checking in to make sure she's doing what you've asked her to do, but also it encourages her not to cancel your party. If you schedule your party 4 weeks out and then you don't contact her until the week before, she may cancel on you. And it's not because of anything, you know, that she doesn't want to do it, but she may just not be, you know, invested in it anymore. So keeping in contact with her is super important. So I like to say 3 contacts prior to the event, unless you've scheduled your party for like a week out after you've talked to her the first time. Then obviously you're going to start, like, jump right into your party setup. So the first thing that she needs to do is make her guest list. She needs to invite like 40 to 50 people, because the ratio of people that actually RSVP is about 1/3. So 40 to 50 people will give you enough RSVPs for it to be a profitable and successful party. So when she does the guest list and responds that she has her guest list, you need to ask her, hey, how many people did you come up with? Because you might say, you need 40, 50 people, but she might come back with, I have 33 people. Well, you really want to have those 40 to 50 people, so then you can take that opportunity to brainstorm with her and figure out how to get her up to that at least 40 people. Then you're going to ask her to send personal messages to those people on her guest list. And you would want to do this for the in-home parties too. That's why I said it kind of overlaps. So the personal messages, you want to encourage her to create them so that they don't seem like the cookie cutter, cut and paste messages, because people can pick up on that and they'll be less likely to respond and say yes. I like to ask them to send the personal voice messages. On Facebook Messenger, you can use like the voice recording and then record a message and send it to people. So that gets, sorry guys, that will help with the guest hearing your hostess's excitement. Hi Holly, hi Jill, thanks for popping on. So you can give her an example. So like, hey Marie, I am going to be hosting this Amelia James party. I have fallen in love with the styles. I think you would really like them too. They are so comfortable and cute, and I really hope you'll join me with this party. And her excitement will translate on the voice messages much better than it will on in text. So only then, after she's sent these messages, that's when I create the Facebook event or Facebook group, however you want to do your online party. And make sure you emphasize to only invite the people who have already said yes. So you've created this event. Now you ask her to post on her personal Facebook wall, talking about the party and how if anybody wants to invite, to comment and she'll get them added. So that's another way to drive up the RSVPs. So at that point, I then give my hostess tasks to do for 7 days leading up to the party. So the day 1 is the messages. Day 2, I ask her to post why she loves Amelia James and why she thinks her friends will, and I ask her to include a picture of her wearing Amelia James with that post. On day 3, I do her favorite style and a picture and why she loves that style and how it makes her feel. On day 4, we could do a engagement post. So I ask her to help me do an engagement post with either a meme or a game, something that she would enjoy helping with and that her guests would like as well. And then on day 5, we're getting closer to the party, so I do pattern sneak peeks and ask her to share them to her Facebook wall and to participate in the pattern sneak peeks in the Facebook event. On day 6, this is the day before the party, I ask my hostess to follow up with all the people who have RSVP'd. Again, personal messages, cookie cutter, cut and paste messages are not going to work well for this. Ask her to follow up with the RSVPs and remind them that the party is tomorrow, how excited she is, and how she hopes that they will be able to join. And then on day 7, which is the sale day, I ask her to participate in tagging her friends in things that she thinks they'll like. So if she knows that her friend buys tons of LuLaRoe leggings, then she could tag her friend in the leggings post and say, hey, I know that you love leggings. I saw these and thought of you immediately. What do you think? And that gets the posts popping to the wall and to her friend's wall, and more likely that other people will see it. I try to use the same kind of setup with online hostess coaching and in-person hostess coaching. The only difference that I really tweak is that I start the process much farther back from the party date. So if the event is in 3 weeks, I start with the guest list and invites immediately, because it gives time for people to put it on their calendar, and then they don't book other things or schedule other things for themselves because they know they have this party. So as far as hostess coaching goes, that's kind of how I run things. I'm going to be posting it's like a hostess thank you letter. I'm going to be posting a checklist for hostess coaching of all the things that you should be doing. But the main thing is that you want to make sure that you're checking in constantly and asking her to do things, and because it will create that sense of excitement, and her friends will see it, and the more engaged she is, the more engaged they will be. One of my very first team leaders, back when I sold Jamberry, equated it to like going to a kid's birthday party. You don't go to the kid's birthday party to see the clown. You go to see the hostess and hang out with your friends. Well, now granted, this is kind of a weird analogy, but she equated us to being the clown. We're the party entertainment, but we're not why the guests come to the party. We're the hostesses. If we were just the ones hosting the party and we invited this person's friends, they may or may not show up. So the more involved the hostess is, the more likely that her guest will be involved as well. I know I kind of went through that super fast, so if you have any questions, I'll go ahead and open it up. I went like Speedy Gonzalez because I have an event that I have to leave for soon. This is going to be a wild weekend. I have an event today and tomorrow. So, any questions, guys? "30-second delay." No. All right, well, if there are no questions, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I know it was super fast and a lot of information, and like I said, I'll be posting. Do I find my hostesses responsive? Some of them, Jeanette, are, some aren't. You know, and I keep on my checklist, I keep information about that so that the hostesses that don't respond to it and aren't active, I don't approach them again about hosting because I want to make my business profitable. And if I'm working overtime and I'm not seeing the rewards, then I'm not going to go down that avenue of income again. So, Holly, most of my friends don't live local, so I do a majority of my stuff online. However, I do have some friends that live about 2.5 hours from me that are willing to do in-home parties. And I always ask when someone is within the travel area for me, I say, do you want to do in-home party or online? Online, is more flexible because you don't have to clean your house and people can shop at their leisure. However, with an in-home party, you get people there and they touch and they see and they try on and they fall in love and then they leave with it. So I give my hostess the option, and I do inform them that if they do an in-home party, there's the likelihood that they will sell more, because that's just been my personal experience. If I get people in front of the clothes, they'll take them home. If it's online, they can't touch, they can't see, they can't try on, and they're more likely to say, I'm okay. So that's just been my personal experience. I'm honest with my hostesses, and the majority of them that are in the travel area, they'll pick an in-home party because they want the free stuff. So it just to them makes sense, I guess. Any other questions? Sorry, get my fingers in your camera. And for those who are watching the replay, go ahead and post your comments or your questions in the, go ahead and comment with your questions. Sorry guys, I'm like trying to read the question and talk at the same time, and I can't multitask. Comment with your questions, and when I get a chance, I'll come back and answer them. Do you keep your hostess rewards the same as LuLaRoe? No. And here's why. I think it's far easier to sell 10 pairs of leggings than it is to sell 10 Saratogas. And I think that your hostess should be rewarded for the amount of dollars versus the amount of items. And the majority of direct sales companies who create their own hostess rewards. So like with Jamberry, when I sold Jamberry, it was based on dollar amounts. So I do not do the sell 10 items, get one free, because 10 pairs of leggings is $200, 10 Saratogas is $680. There's a big difference in my mind, and I think the hostess should be rewarded for that. So what I've done is I've done a free pair of leggings or $20 boutique bucks for booking the party, and if it reaches a qualifying amount, and so I set that amount at $200. And then the actual hostess rewards, I've done 10%, because 10% of $200 is $20. It's a pair of leggings, and that's the same as your 10 items, get one free. So at $680 with 10 Saratogas, that's still, you could get a free Saratoga, and that's still 10 items. So I feel like it's a happy medium. I haven't done a whole lot of parties with Amelia James, but the other companies, like Jamberry, Usborne, that sort of stuff, when I've looked at their party plans, it's pretty equivalent to 10%. Hi, Sierra. I've already gone through all of my information. I'm just doing questions right now. Did you have any questions? Oh, and the other thing I do is I give them 50% off an item for each party that they help me book from their party. That's the other thing I do. Holly, did you have another question? Jeanette, when I sold LuLaRoe, I tried a variety of different things. I tried doing it in my group, and I tried doing it in a separate group. I never did an event because of the albums issue, and I found that doing it in my group was like, it got a whole bunch of people added that never joined, and it dragged my numbers down. So for Amelia James, I will probably stick to a separate group or events. Holly, so with Amelia James's super fast turnaround for restock, what you could do is take pre-orders. So you can share the styles on restock, and if anybody wants to order, then you could just go ahead and bring them with you to the party, so then they don't have to pay for shipping. I have not ordered anything specifically for a party because I have a wide variety of different styles, and what I do is I have a slideshow of the restock items, and I have that playing on my computer. And so if they're interested in something, then I find something with a similar fit, and I have them try that on for size, and then I take their order, and when it arrives, I ship to them. But you could order the styles and bring to your party. I just don't have the disposable income right now to stock items in my boutique that I'm not 100% certain I can sell. So yeah, if you have the disposable income and you can do that with picking the styles for the demographic, then I would say go for it, because they're obviously going to be more likely to buy if it's something you know they like. I just don't have that disposable income right now, and so I have to stick to what I have in my boutique and then place restock orders. Does that make sense? I hope that made sense. Okay, good. Any other questions before I sign off? Let me see what time it is. Okay. Yeah, still have time. How much inventory is the norm with AJ? I've seen anywhere from minimal, and only doing restock orders to the most I've seen, I think Angelica has like between 500 to 600, but she has the mobile boutique. So it really depends on what you want to do with your business. I personally, my goal is 200 pieces because I do a lot of vendor events. They're my jam and I love them. So I feel that 200 pieces is enough to be competitive with the other companies, but still not have an overwhelming amount so that people don't have so many options that they just can't decide. If you're only doing online parties and not doing in-person events, you could probably do a smaller inventory, because you could use restock to place orders at your party. Having in-person parties, you probably want at least 150, just because you need a good variety of sizes and styles. The one in-home party I did with Amelia James, they had, I think I only had 70 pieces when I did it, and there were a lot of comments that I didn't have enough sizes and styles. So with LuLaRoe, I kept my inventory around 200 to 250 because of the size of my car, and it seemed to be a fair amount. I wish they had a bigger vendor event. Yeah. So Holly, that's what got me into trouble with LuLaRoe, is I was traveling 2.5 hours to do vendor events, and it stunk. With Amelia James, I was able to break into the local vendor market, so I've booked a reoccurring monthly vendor event for 2018. That's 30 minutes from me. Yeah, Holly, I was exhausted. I worked full-time Monday through Friday, and then would travel on the weekends. So I never saw my husband or my dogs, or it was rough. So, any other questions about hostess coaching or in-home online parties? I can answer those too. I don't want to get like totally off topic. I could talk for days. Yeah, I was hustling. I almost wrecked my marriage, so that was why I left, but thank God for AJ. That's all I have to say. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and get off. If you have any more questions, go ahead and comment, and I will get back around to answering them when I can. I know I was rambling and fast, and I'm sorry. Sickness and the last week of school will do that to you. Bye, guys.